Yeah. Yeah.
What is good? What is good? It's your boy Tiz. It's your boy Tiz. 1/3 of the partners back at y'all with another scrolling with the homies. Uh Kicking it with Tiz. This is just another random board live. Still playing around with the feature, seeing what I can do with it. Tonight we are going to be looking at Rory and Mal's response to Joe Budden. If you've been following the Joe Budden podcast, you know that they've gone through a sabbatical over the past month, and now they've gotten to the point where Joe has fired Rory and effectively fired Mal. Basically, he said Mal can come back, but then went back on that and said that they're both fired. So that is what it is. So tonight we're going to actually watch and analyze and kind of break down Rory and Mal and see who we believe. We've seen Joe's. We've had a chance to kind of get through the news cycle, and we've seen Joe's initial firing of them. We've seen the friction over the past. Really, if you've been watching, it's been friction ever since the Charlemagne interview back a few years ago. Charlemagne kind of called them out and was like, hey, it looks like Mal and Joe are really friends, but Rory, you and Joe might not be as tight as you think. And basically, it looks like that's what's come to play based off of what Joe has said. Basically, Rory has led a charge and Mal has kind of followed suit where they were questioning the accountant. If you watched our live earlier today, me and Pat was talking, and I liken it to me and my homies kind of business deal that we got set up. And it's basically the three intellectual and creative properties that create the show. Everything is split 33 and a third. That way, at the end of the day, no matter what, you know exactly what you're getting from each deal. And it keeps people from getting jealous if one person starts to blow up a little bit. You know what I mean? If you get an individual deal that's for you, you get that. That's you. But if it's the partners, then everybody get it. And I think that's what they should have set up on the front end. But the problem is when you're dealing with somebody who's famous and you're not, and you're coming in onto a podcast that was already established, because remember, Peter Rosenberg and Marissa Mendez, they were there first. So really, this we've been here before. We've seen this story kind of play out. before it was any real big time millions and millions of dollars that they playing with now with Patreon and when they had their Spotify deal. So let's basically get into it. You got the Joe Budden. We've heard his side of the story. Now at this point, let's go ahead and get into it and see what's up with Mal and Rory's side of the story.
It's not loud.
It's not to degrade people. It's not.
Hold up, let me go back.
No, we're gonna get to the truth.
And let's try to get to it quick because I
Okay.
want this to be straight to the point. This is
The truth
honestly
is the
for-
truth.
Rory
is
said he
simple.
ain't
The
trying to
truth is
waste no
quick, man.
time
The
with
truth
it.
isn't long-winded. It's not boisterous. It's not loud.
It's not to
And we
degrade
saucy.
people. It's not.
Yeah,
to
we
bully
saucy.
people.
This
not
isn't
to
a
It's gonna be
smear
interesting.
thing.
Self look better.
It's gonna be real
Nah, man,
interesting.
It's
I'm
not
not-
just tell what happened.
It's gonna be real fun.
Like I said, my karma is beautiful. My aura is beautiful, man. I'm
Okay,
just
we
here to
talking about
let people
auras.
know the truth.
All right.
And only because there
So
has been so many.
now
people
I'm not
over the
no
past going on the
genius
7th year.
psychoanalyzer or nothing like that. Don't get me wrong. But what I do know is when people get to talking about spirituality early on in the conversation, that means they're coming in with some type of conjecture at some point, because that means you're dealing with belief from the get-go. And this is coming from a Christian. But I'm gonna tell you that's I don't know.
Of our podcast that have been there and supported, bought fucking tickets, bought
Absolutely.
subscriptions,
And
just
we're
downloaded
extremely
it,
grateful for that.
fucking bootlegged it. I'm appreciated for it. Like
Absolutely. All
people
of
have
it.
just always came out for us, and I understand when people do things twice a week for however many years, you become part of their lives, and they want
Absolutely.
answers.
This is when you got to know your real worth. Right here. See, this is where like a lot of people have been giving Joe a hard time about this. But what I'm seeing is two guys who were not famous before this, who got famous off of Joe's name. Joe was famous before them. So at that point, you got a guy that's already bringing in fans. He's bringing in, like when he's going out on these tours, people ain't coming to see Rory and Mal. People coming to see Joe Budden and see what messy shit Joe Budden about to do. So I don't know that we're gonna sit there and look at. Oh shit, what's going on, Darnell? Hey man, I'm coming to the Cookie Crush chat as soon as I'm done with this. So hopefully Lyndon go long tonight. But yeah, shout out to you, Queen, and shout out to Lyndon Honor, man. If you are looking for some Umar content, some top-notch Umar content, Lyndon Honor Cookie Crush chat is going on right now. Go to Lyndon Honor's page right now if you need that. But we're gonna keep on getting into this analysis. But I'm gonna tell you, when you deal with somebody who's already famous, exactly, he fired them. And they should have been fired. That's my take. That's Tiz's take. He should have been fired. At this point, you got a guy that's not really famous, another guy that's not really famous, and a guy who is famous. We know where the bread is buttered. And you're all getting rich. Me and Pat was talking earlier today on the live, and if him and Face were both getting 40% apiece, and I was getting 20%, but my 20% was still getting me rich, and they were getting rich as well off their 40%. We all good. Especially if they are the ones driving the content that's actually getting us paid. And that's the thing. We got to look at what equity is. Like when you're dealing with friends, yeah, we friends. We're going to split the pizza 3 ways. But in business, if Face bring in a huge merchandising deal, and that's his area that he been working on, he deserved to get paid more than everybody else on that because that's his area that he's been working on. If we get an amazing graphic design deal or an amazing social media deal, Pat deserved to get paid more than me because that's the area he's been working on. So, like, I think that, like, these guys are looking at it all wrong, but let's get more into it. Let's see what they talking about.
And
Absolutely.
in some cases, I can't tell you everything just because it is personal and legal things to some degree, but there should be some actual transparency.
Oh no, we're gonna get into some personal shit.
Or some other,
I don't know that we need to get into personal.
I'm only doing this once. I'm not one of these guys.
Oh no, I want this to be the end of it. This is
I'm only doing this
going
once.
on a
we're going to see you next week.
Smear nobody. I'm not here for that.
Because what we are here for is the fact that y'all don't have no other job after Joe Budden.
True. I think it's important because motherfuckers like to say, "Oh, my truth." No. This is the truth. This is what happened, what didn't happen.
Exactly, Donnell.
You know, again, I thought we owed it to the fans and the supporters.
Mal especially.
Here we are.
Mal being his homeboy for all these years. Like, at the end of the day, like, we know who Joe is. We've watched Joe on YouTube as long as there has been a YouTube. Like, let's be real. We watched him with Tahiri. We watched him with Buffy. We watched, not Buffy. Was it Buffy? Esther? It was one of them video vixens or whatever. But he's always had a public persona online since online was a thing, and he's always had a video presence. So this is not new for Joe. We know who Joe is. Joe acts like Joe acts. He's the same on Love and Hip Hop as he is on this podcast, as he is on his records, as he is everywhere else. So at this point, we don't know, like, exact. Donnell, you always be speaking the truth. We follow him with his son. Exactly. Like Joe busting ass. Joe out here, he's the money maker. Let's be real. He's the person that's actually driving what we're getting out here as far as Rory and Mal being able to eat. So, like, let's never get that twisted.
It gave me anxiety.
It was lengthy. It gave me anxiety, to be quite honest. I had to chop it down just because when you watch things and, you know, you react. I don't even want to say, because emotionally gets a bad rap for the word.
All right, now don't start to acting up. You feel, man?
You watch things and, you know, you react. I don't even want to say, because emotionally gets a bad rap for the word it is, but I will say emotionally. You react emotionally to certain things, which is fine. So I was sitting there writing 1,000 different notes on every last thing I disagree.
Takes forever.
That's a lie. That never fucking happened. How could
especially
you
for a black man
perspective on this and that?
Right.
I was like, that it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Not to say I got over shit or anything like that, but I wanted to get straight to the point on what shit actually was.
Yeah.
The only petty moment I will have as far as like just actual truths would be the start of the podcast, which I think is the best way to start this entire thing.
Okay, so go ahead. This is where you take the floor. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna, you know.
It's gonna be quick, and then we can get to.
So Mal is gonna do basically what he does on the show.
Start of the podcast happen.
Sit there, he laughs, he says his little
Joe and
ad-libs,
everyone
and
else
that's it.
over there.
As Joe takes the reins, and now he's doing that with Rory. So we see the dynamic
within 30 seconds. I just popped up on the podcast on episode 20.
Right.
The original SoundCloud episode number 1 and our SoundCloud is under my email. I set that entire page up on episode 1. My man's did the artwork in retrospect. Not the greatest.
Right.
Set up all the artwork, did all the uploads,
so
did everything. And again,
so right there,
like anyone can set up a fucking sound.
This is what people are not looking at. When a man like Joe Budden takes the time to give you an opportunity on his platform, he's saying he coming in on episode 20. So that means that the Joe Budden podcast was already an entity before he stepped in. And on top of that, you're looking at Joe Budden, who already in his initial firing said that he told y'all, hey, go out, get this started, get your own podcast started, get your own thing started, get your own merch started. Like he was telling them to get something going, and they were the ones that were lazy. You can't get mad at somebody when they have more hustle than you, especially when you're still getting rich. I want to keep reminding people that throughout this entire interview, and I haven't seen this yet, so I'm watching it literally with y'all. But I will say this. When you are getting rich off of doing nothing but hanging out with your friends, and your friend is already rich, mind you, when we're talking about Joe Budden, we're talking about a recording artist that's already went platinum with a single. He's already been gold and made millions of dollars in the music industry. So we're not talking about somebody who came into the podcast game like, I need this as my living. He coming into it like, kind of like a lot of people on YouTube these days, like, hey man, I got my real bread and butter, but I like doing this. But my thing is, once you get to that point, I'm coming in on this person who's already got this established. I need to be humble. Rory keep talking like he's coming in, bringing in a big deal. And under his own words just now, what did he say? Oh, yeah. I came in, I brought in some artwork, for whatever that was worth. So basically saying that the artwork wasn't that great. That's what you're telling me at that moment. The artwork is not that great. That's all I'm saying.
Right when you came.
Got you.
Start of the podcast happened. Mm-hmm. According to Joe and everyone else over there, even though this is easily Googleable, if that's a word.
It's a word today.
Within 30 seconds,
is a word.
Mm-hmm.
I just popped up on the podcast on episode 20.
Right.
The original
episode 20, y'all. Episode 20.
Episode number 1.
Let's keep the facts straight.
Under my email. I set that entire page up on episode 1. Mm-hmm. My mans did the artwork in retrospect. Mm-hmm. Not the greatest.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Set up all the artwork, did all the uploads, did everything. And again, I'm not saying this is a big foot. Like anyone can set up a fucking SoundCloud page.
Right.
Yes, anybody
I'm
can.
not looking for credit on that type of
anybody can. Why do men do it to each other? Mm-hmm. I tell you what it is, Donnell. It's money. Whenever you got people that come into it for different reasons. See, this is the thing. The main problem with this group was you had Joe coming in already with this established. So this is not something that they came up with together. They came up with, started at the immediate start of this. These two came in late. Donnell, I see why is the black man sitting there? Because the black man is worried about the greenbacks. And that's the thing. When we're talking about business, like you got to come into it. My grandfather used to always say, if you chase your dreams, you will find money. If you chase money, you will crush your dream. And what that always meant to me is, if you sit here and you go into something, I'm looking to profit from it, you in it for the wrong reason. Like I believe that every career, every business move, everything should be driven from a place of this feels good to me and this is what's going to actually bring me joy to do. This is going to bring me happiness. This is going to fulfill some need within my spirit. Because when you chase that, you chase it with a passion and you do it with fidelity and you actually follow through on it. You put the work in that's necessary to complete the mission on it. And that's when you get the big bucks. You feel me? When you come into it like these two guys, you never know what you're going to get.
I wasn't even on your brain, period, when it came to, what I want to do with this podcast. Joe, you sat me down on episode 5 and said, hey, can you come on this podcast, please? Mm-hmm. I need someone else to talk to. Can't just do the sex thing every time. I got to talk to someone else. Mm-hmm. Bet. Episode 6, here I am. But let's fast forward. You came. You came. What's your perspective of that? Joe said he had no idea in the world where you were.
I had came back to New York. A former friend of mine had
okay.
He had signed with the Knicks, and we were out in Detroit together.
Mm-hmm.
And
mind you, Mal is Biggs Burke's cousin or something like that, so he's used to riding the hog off somebody else's hard work. I'm gonna put it out there. I ain't heard nobody else like actually just go ahead and just say it. You're the cousin of 1/3 of one of the biggest hip hop labels ever, Rockefeller Records. You used to riding somebody else's coattails. But proceed.
I was back in the city, and Joe, he hit me and was like, "Yo, I want you to, come by the pod and kick it." I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, I'll swing through." And came through. We had fun time, good conversation, laughs, jokes. It was kind of like catching up. I hadn't seen him in a while, so it was like catching up, and the energy was dope.
I remember when he called you in his kitchen. Well, I won't say the town, but in his kitchen from one of his older houses, when we were sitting there trying to go through, like, yeah, we need to get a girl, we need to do this and that. Nothing really stuck at that point, and he was like, "Oh shit, I think Mal's in town." And I mean, you and I weren't.
Come on now. Rev back up. See, Rory, he's sabotaging my shit.
Cool, but we had seen each other around type of
definitely,
shit
definitely.
For a couple of years at that point.
There
and I was like, "Oh yeah, Mal's fucking hysterical. That'd be great." Then you came on the show.
Exactly, Donnell.
Did you have plans on staying?
What you said
into that did you think it was gonna be a one-off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he just wanted to
you said,
kick the shit and bust it up, laugh.
Ooh, we saw
shit we normally do when we see each other. So
yeah.
it's like,
I will say this: I fuck with
some
Mal
jokes, tell some
sneakers.
stories and
Air Maxes are hard.
What I've been doing,
like some Air Max 95.
Just catch up. But
no, not 95, 97.
And we had the conversation, I think maybe 2 weeks after that, and it became a permanent thing.
Then it started to really kind of catch some type of wave. Granted, it was definitely doing good numbers from Rip. As far as first podcasts go, I'll never say otherwise. There, it definitely came out the gate.
Okay,
Joe's.
What does this have to do with anything?
Good little thing we had going.
You say you can't.
I get a call from Elliot Wilson. Elliot says, "Hey, let's go to lunch."
They're actually not as expensive.
Outside of my relationship with Joe, outside my relationship, anything to do with podcasts, I've just known Elliot.
I think everybody knows Elliot.
Elliot's my guy. Elliot's an amazing guy.
Right.
And Elliot will just hit you up and say, "Yo, let's grab a drink and let's have lunch."
Right.
So I said,
they're not like the Jordans.
We go and have lunch. Don't really talk about podcasting specifically, but just maybe the overall genre and what's going on here as a title and just shooting the shit about music because Elliot and I have similar interests. Towards the end of the lunch, he said, "Hey, I'm over at Tidal full time now. I could probably give y'all like an offer on some type of podcasting thing." So I'd love to hear about that. Elliot says some numbers, not actual deal points or anything like that, but just what he thinks ballpark number, friends talking on what he thinks he could do per month. Right. Early in podcasting. I say bet. So I called Joe. I said, "Hey, I just had a really interesting lunch with Elliot." Okay, what happened? I said, "Oh, Tidal, they're trying to put together this little podcast division. This is what's going on. This is what they think they could offer per month."
Okay. Exactly. So you brought a Tidal deal. Were they ever in a Tidal deal? Somebody let me know. Because I don't remember them being in a Tidal deal. So I'm very confused right now.
Real casual, real regular. Never said yes or no to anything. I was just like, "Yeah, cool. I'll get back with the guys and we'll talk." Joe flips the fuck out on that phone. "Yo, what the fuck would you ever talk about this fucking podcast to anybody?" Like flipping the fuck out. I said, "Joe, I was talking to Elliot, who's a friend, and I didn't say anything but okay, I'll talk with the guys."
Right.
Could have been a stranger on the street saying, "Yo, give you out $2 million tomorrow."
Right. I'm gonna go talk to the guys.
I go talk to the guy.
Right.
Never said anything. Never went that. Was met with just a flip out.
Right.
A couple weeks later,
you kind of overstepping your bounds.
Told her what studio.
Well, no.
So I got
because Joe said, "Go get the deal." So
and then they were exact same numbers, the exact same thing.
Yeah, I remember that. I think we had. Did we have an argument that day about that? Was that?
No, You guys say that was about the title deal, but I don't think that argument was about the title deal.
Okay.
I think it has something to do with Highline Ballroom or something. I didn't think the title. I don't think the title deal was ever
a
an
live
argument.
show. It was a live show.
Because the title deal,
Highline
was cool. Like, because I think it was for 6 months. It wasn't like
so that means these dudes been beefing behind the scenes about some random shit for a while now.
Was it a good decision? Probably turned it down. Sure, whatever.
Right.
No one's ever mad about it.
Right. This is still way back before the major
once those
deals
start coming in.
That we're really talking about right now.
Start having contract conversations, because when we were thinking about taking the title deal, Joe and I did sit down and talk about percentages off that monthly title number.
Right.
Which happened. I don't care what you think, what your narrative is. This all happened.
Mm-hmm.
We turned down the title deal. I think, well, we should just have that conversation anyways, because we're starting to get real offers, not just little ads here and there, like $1,500, $2,500, like
$2,500.
Crazy offers, no, but they're offers. So we should just do this because we're
all right.
friends.
Did you? Okay. See, this is when you got to realize who you're dealing with when you come into a deal. All right. This is what you got to do. This is when you got to understand who you're dealing with when you come into a deal. This is exactly. Shout out to Soul Lord. Shout out to Soul Lord for this upload. Shout out to Soul Lord for this upload. Soul Lord. Follow his page. Follow his page. Follow his page. Yes, the black dude is going behind Joe back. So the question is, why is he there? So he is there to cause confusion. Donnell, you know why he there. That's why you keep asking that, because you know why he there. But we gonna watch a little more. But you know why he there.
Sum of money, just a percentage-based shit.
Because it validates the white man's. Okay,
call Joe,
let me be quiet.
And I say that to him.
See, I be saying too much.
This was one of the first conversations I'd ever really been offended to Joe, and I've expressed this to him.
Okay.
He flipped the fuck out, called me insecure for wanting to have a contract.
Yes. Well, see, that's the thing. He is fired now. He is fired.
I said, I'm insecure because I think we're all friends and I want to have a contract since all these deals are coming in. So once the deals are finalized, the three of us don't have to say a fucking word to each other. We good.
Right.
We can continue on with this chemistry of this podcast.
Right.
But I'm insecure.
Mm-hmm.
I found that very odd. The same way he psychoanalyzes his friends, I thought that was the weirdest fucking thing on earth.
Right. You understand that now, simply, though. You understand what that energy was about now, though.
This was just the first one.
Okay, got you.
This was just the first one.
What is the energy about? Weird. What is the energy about? What energy?
I called before we had any deal to talk about ownership of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What energy? What is the energy that we're talking about? Like, get to what the problem is, man. Just say what it is. He make more money than me. I don't like it. I want more money. Please pay me more money. That's all it is. Like, I don't know why we even playing these games here.
Joe said otherwise. We then all agreed we'll do profit partners, which is fine. If you want to own the IP of this shit, it wasn't even an argument before my lawyer even got in that shit. That was a simple Joe and I conversation. It's your IP on your shit. Okay. But let's just be profit partners.
Right.
I'm not going to get paid off this podcast. Let's put some real sweat.
Oh, it's going to be a response.
Shit, cool. And
it's going to be a response.
Joe did prior to start that podcast in the beginning. Won't take anything away from that. Never even came in on some, I need to own this shit. Did I bring it up first? Of course.
Right.
Who the fuck wouldn't?
Right.
It's a simple fucking thing. So then Spotify comes. Nick emails me, says, hey, I think Spotify is interested in doing some podcast stuff. I said, all right, bet. I'll put you on with Ian. At this point, I had already tried to bring up negotiating an actual contract prior, so we could have avoided a lot of these things once a real deal came in.
Right.
But we had all agreed at that point verbally that it would just be a profit partner percentage. After expenses, three of us bust down this percentage. We all sit behind every expense, not even on some IP shit. Not once did my lawyer even bring up in that Spotify deal about IP or a back catalog or anything. So that's why this narrative's a little fucking weird to me.
He didn't say that.
Spotify comes.
He said you had a problem with the accounting. Get to that.
Real money is on the table.
Right.
Get to what Joe actually said.
Not what any other ad was. Not what any other thing that I'm privy to. That I'm privy to. Let me make that clear. Shit that I'm privy to.
Right.
So I hit my lawyer and I say, hey, let's get a contract. I'm not the smartest person in the world, never will claim to be. I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. But when you go into a negotiation with another lawyer, you start at the top of everything, and then lawyers just start taking shit off of what's not going to happen.
Correct.
So, of course, a lawyer goes in and says, visuals. Visuals now are YouTube.
Okay.
Let's negotiate.
That's what I'm like.
They
okay.
Say no. So we get into the negotiation. Lawyer goes back and forth with his lawyer. Joe and I speak on the side. One quick conversation. I never brought up YouTube money again.
Mm-hmm.
Not one time. Never came out of my fucking mouth.
I think it's important to highlight that.
Never came out of my fucking mouth after a lawyer who did their fucking job and negotiated.
What's good, Honey B? Peace, Queen. Peace, Queen.
I said, all right, bet. Okay, wait. So visuals are not off the table. Just YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool.
Right.
Never gonna hear about YouTube from me again. Like, that's whatever.
Never
Visual
gonna hear about YouTube.
YouTube's not the only place on
so
earth.
So now we got a discrepancy.
Visual shit.
But let
me, you see the foot shaking? You see the foot shaking?
The problem with that was because...
So we got a discrepancy. Because Joe's saying it was all about the YouTube money, all about the deal money. You didn't believe his accounting. Get to that. We keep beating around the bush, but you want to get to the point.
The podcast, yes, was this?
Some ain't right.
Was the Joe Budden channel active before the podcast? Yes.
Yes, it was.
But we know what the subscription was before we started putting the podcast on there.
Okay.
As we started putting the podcast on, it became a weekly thing. The subscription started to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the only reason why I had an issue with that, because okay, cool. Yeah, you started this channel, no problem. But I know how YouTube, you get paid each video off of each video.
So here's the thing. That conversation did happen between the lawyers. Because I know how the YouTube splits work and what that is. I'm familiar with it. Whether whatever side wants to say otherwise and on what I know and what I don't know, I know how that shit works. So my lawyer did say to them at one point, the percentage we have on audio, we don't have to do on that YouTube page. I think that shit, the last thing she said was as low as like 2% on that.
Right.
Like
something.
And on top of that, we're sitting behind YouTube expenses, which cool. I see the bigger picture. I'm not.
You see the bigger picture, but you don't.
This is 2021 shit.
But you arguing.
Fuck, I never cared about the money on that shit.
You do.
Crazy
That's what this is about.
It was just lawyers negotiating. That's what lawyers do. It's not annoying. It's a simple fucking thing. And this was the simplest contract on earth. This shit was very easy. It was not some crazy.
Yo, this shit is wild, man. First, the fat boys break up. Now, every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with Joe. I'm still waiting on the part where Joe did something actually wrong business.
But according to him, we don't know what the contract. We're percentage based.
Yes.
Because I see the narrative is people think that we work for Joe and we're employees and we get a salary. That's not what it was. We have a percentage based contract.
And also
so we have to ask for accounting, because how else will we know what we're supposed to get? We need to see the numbers.
Okay, so you saw the numbers. What's the problem? That's the.
I've seen a lot of people make.
Gotcha.
LeBron wouldn't ask Jeannie Buss for the books for the Lakers. I'm like, LeBron is a salary. He don't give a fuck what the Lakers make as long as he makes $50 million at the end of the year. He doesn't give a fuck what the Lakers make. But if he was getting a percentage, if he was getting 30% a year, he would need to know what the Lakers made that year.
That's
true.
So that's just to kill that narrative of we were asking for books and we are employees.
You're not salary based.
Stupid narrative.
So you saw the books. Okay.
Contract.
So what's the problem? What is the problem? Get to the problem.
That's coming in and everything that's going out.
Okay.
So we get to accounting, which is in our contract that was drawn up.
You asked for accounting.
My lawyer, Mal's lawyer.
We agree on all of that.
Super standard with profit.
We know that happened.
That becomes an issue. I want to make this clear throughout the rest of this response that I asked always the simplest questions ever. This narrative of me being this difficult person or this person wilding out. I also have those emails that everyone speaks about where I'm being difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how dumb you think I am. But accounting is not some shit you send in a 5-line item in the body of an email.
Right.
Just want to make that clear.
Right.
And when I asked for accounting, I didn't think asking for what's in your contract is such a fucking crazy thing to ask somebody, your friend or not. And on top of that, I sit behind the accounting expense.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to say the company's name because it's not important.
Right.
But they're not a cheap company to hire.
Right.
They're expensive.
Exactly.
And whether they do Joe's personal life, not my business, do not care at all. Nor am I trying to get into Joe's personal life or personal business outside of the podcast.
We just talking about the contract that
I
we
sit
have.
behind that expense, and it's in my contract. If I ask the simple fucking question of, hey, let me see the accounting, because it's also supposed to be there quarterly by law. And
that's another thing.
Okay.
You're supposed to. We're supposed to get accounting quarterly.
Okay.
If you want to do it twice a year, that's cool. Whatever. But I'm fine
with that.
Right. But I think
it don't even need to be quarterly.
Right. But
I think once a year.
I think
I'm
that
easy
people
to work with.
Right. People don't understand that this isn't something that just happened last month or March. Like we were trying to just get some type of accounting since 2019, maybe.
No, way before that.
All I can remember is 2019.
If you've been trying to get accounting since 2019, you should have been on strike since 2019. That's just my opinion. At least it's how I would do things. I'm not about to sit around and kiki with a dude and our money been messed up since 2019. That's 3 years, 2.5 years of me sitting around just with you. And you're sitting there jerking me around for my bread. Like, why are we just hearing about this now, right now? As the Patreon money starts to get big, all of a sudden now it's a problem. But I digress.
Yeah, I'd have to look back.
Like we had tried to get some type of accounting when we had the conversation outside of the studio. Like, yo, we never got accounting. Like, what's up? What's going on? You know, we just need to see what's going on with the numbers.
Okay.
And it's like every time it came to talk about accounting or business, it was always, you know, some negative energy coming from him. And that's telling to me. It's like, why are you getting so defensive when we're asking for something that's just protocol in business when you have a contract based off of profit percentages and all of that? Like this is basic shit we're asking for.
By the way,
where's the proof?
In the beginning, when
what is the?
Because I
got mad
and got back bodies of emails when it came to tour accounting.
Exactly. Yo, they both fired. They both fired, Donnell.
Complaining in that type of sense.
They are both fired.
Like the real shit when you get a chance. Like I understand people.
That's the good part. They are both fired.
Was met with such tension every time I asked a simple question.
I'm still waiting on like the
My
actual
naive ass.
You asked the question.
Right.
I'm taking accountability on that. Nothing's wrong.
Did he give you account or no?
I also want to make that clear because that became a narrative, even though it is later
feel me?
on.
Did he give you accounting or no?
Think anyone's a thief.
We never said that.
I don't think anyone's stealing. I never even said, hey,
it was a simple.
This is missing.
Can we just have the accounting? At this point? Yeah, we just wanted the accounting. And I from what I remember in 2019 when we finally got it, there was a quote unquote $400 and something thousand mistake. So I don't know what accountant makes a $400,000 mistake. So okay, you know, nobody's perfect. So I'm putting that out there, but it was just a little weird to me.
So end of 2019, yes, you are correct in that timeline. End of 2019 is when we got the Excel sheet accounting. They went from the body of the email and then just gave me an Excel sheet with a few more line items. And my high school diploma ass, before I sent it to my accountant, which also is standard business. You're not offending your friends. Okay. This is just how shit works. I'm not calling anyone.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What did Joe actually do wrong? I'm waiting.
Of that.
Right.
They have them because they need to monitor their fucking money.
Right.
Okay.
I find something
get to the point
immediately. And I don't get disrespectful because I understand people make mistakes, and nor do I think people are stealing. That's my man. I love him. I don't think he's stealing from me.
Right.
This is some shit we doing, and I know Joe got a lot of other shit going on. I got a lot of other shit going on. You got a lot of other shit going on. People make mistakes.
What else do y'all have going on?
Nor do I think Joe did the accounting.
Right.
The people that was hired to do it did it. So I send that back. Say, hey, this appears to be a mistake. If I'm wrong, let me know.
You might be wrong, brother.
This big accounting company, which I will not say, said, you're right. that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh,
we were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I say, okay, cool. Then I watched Joe say, in a very condescending, sarcastic tone, Rory came to me and said, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't trust wealth management. Well, he said the name, so I can say it.
Mm-hmm.
Fam, yeah, I don't care how condescending you say that. And it contradicts the fuck what you were saying. I never thought you were stealing.
Right.
I'm trying to understand what the fuck they're doing over here, because this is incorrect.
Right.
And I sit behind this expense.
Okay.
More importantly,
that's a good point.
Right.
I do remember Joe saying
something about
what
podcast accounting.
Mm-hmm.
You saying everyone has to run and do all this, and you're taking away from the overall goal. But like, fam, I'm just asking what's in the contract. Your lawyer, if you should know you should know your contract the same way you're saying that to me. If this was going to be an issue, you should have told your lawyer that you did not agree on accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your lawyer agreed to accounting.
Mm-hmm.
A body of an email and an Excel spreadsheet that people punch numbers into is not accounting. I don't care what you say. As a profit partner, that's not how it works.
It's not accounting.
I've talked with every lawyer and accountant I possibly fucking could have, because I didn't want to be wrong on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's real.
I didn't listen. I'm new to this the same way we all were new to this.
Mm-hmm.
We've all run business shit outside of this, but this is a new thing, especially to the degree of money that the three of us have gotten from it.
Right.
Now we're getting to the shits. Okay. This could be some.
This is a new thing.
Right.
So I went back
We
and
could have a real argument here.
My man, that maybe I'm wrong, because everything I've done has been through ledgers, QuickBooks.
It was never no
everything.
accusations.
Ever.
It was
Not
never.
once.
It was never. He was the one that brought that to the table. Like, you know, y'all are trying to paint me a certain way, and I'm like,
I think you always got a right to see your own contract.
Received accounting, and then there
And
was
you got a right to
something
receive
$1,000
accounting when it comes to your money.
And after that, we never got accounting again. So I'm just like, all right. So
And if they're saying he ain't never
is
got
the mistake
accounting, that is a
fixed?
problem.
Can we get the updated version of accounting? Like, nothing.
So wealth management hits me, says, hey, yeah, we made a mistake. We're correcting the mistake. Here you go. I said, okay, bet. I talk with Joe, I talk with Ian.
At the end of the day, though, I think
strategy to go about doing this.
I think it comes down to real friendship. And how greedy do you want to be? If I am getting rich, meaning I am able to feed my family and build wealth for my family in a substantial way, exactly, they stayed. But if I'm able to build wealth in a substantial way, and again, we're not talking about back-breaking work. We're talking about showing up once a week to hang out with your friends and just talk. You can't be mad at that. Like, I'm maybe it's me and my hippie ways and I don't need much ways or whatever, but like, I feel like if I'm getting rich and that means I'm able to take that money, continue my lifestyle, and build wealth off of it. I don't see the problem. I really don't. I may be missing it. People out there in the world, tell me.
Trying to do a better
maybe I'm just not capitalist enough to live here, but I'm just on some if I'm getting rich and I'm hanging out with my friends talking. Right. I wish I could do that. Like, I wish let the partners
like, whoa, what the fuck?
ever get to the point.
So my accountant gets on with wealth management. My lawyer gets on with wealth management.
What a Joe Budden podcast is, where everybody can get rich for showing up every week and talking with your friends. I'm done.
Management. They even talk about, yo, just come down. We'll open shit up. You guys could look at it. I wasn't even gonna go. Why would I go? I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. My accountant can go just to get the regular shit, because maybe they have a lot going on, and maybe my accountant can just look at it and be like, all right, bet. That's the end of 2019. Pandemic hits. Who gives a fuck?
No, we had
That's real.
No, because we can't skip over this. We had a talk before the pandemic hit about accounting again. And this was right after Cole passed away, and we were outside the studio. And he was the first, because now I'm seeing this narrative that we're auditing him.
Oh, yeah.
He was the first one that even brought auditing to the table. We asked him for accounting. He said, y'all got accounting. We said, yeah, but that was wrong. It was a mistake on that. Like,
okay.
And he was like, oh, y'all trying to paint me away, da-da-da. And I'm like, no, we just want the correct accounting. Oh, well, then audit me then. And I'm like, audit you? Like, bro, fam, that's nasty. I'm not taking my niggas to court. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's just but again, looking back, everything makes sense now. Like everything is starting to come together and paint a picture, because it's like, yo, why do you always get so hostile and so argumentative when we're trying to just get the business side right and focused and taken care of?
Which isn't even a large part of the business, honestly.
It's not.
There's so much more.
But it's like, fam, you got to remember, again, we're profit partners.
Profit partners, yes.
We have a percentage-based contract, an agreement where we get a percentage off of everything that's coming.
Okay, somebody got to drop some receipts. Because now it's getting into like, it's really tough to see who's telling the truth or who's lying. Because if Joe is telling the truth, then that means that he gave them all of this accounting every year on time, and they have no gripe. If they're right, then that means that they didn't get any accounting on time. And I can see their argument. That would pretty much piss me off as well. If I'm percentage based, I just want to at least know a little something. But somebody got to give some receipts. Yeah, that's the thing. Exactly, honeybee. Somebody got to get some receipts, because that's the problem. Nobody's actually giving any information. They're just saying their personal perspective. But I want to know who.
So we have to see
who got some tickets, who got some receipts.
How else will we know what the fuck we getting? And then he had the nerve to say,
because right now, Mal and Rory,
he tells me,
they're making good points,
right?
Yeah.
And this is for me. This is when
my story.
This is when, for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to pull away from this in a minute, because I don't even know who this nigga is anymore, and I don't know who this nigga think he talking to. And I'm not trying to. That energy to me is corny to even have that type of energy with niggas you call your friends. Like, I don't even want to have that type of energy on me, right? So when he started talking like that, and I told you this, I said, fam, I'm not even sure who this nigga is anymore. Because he's saying things, he's moving a certain way, he's wearing funny hats. I don't know who this nigga is anymore.
Don't do that.
I'm just being real. I never seen a nigga wear a Mary hat in my life.
Now, the scary part is, we know that Joe does have a history with substance abuse. And on some not funny stuff, if that's the cause of this, that would be really sad. Because you're telling me that you don't really know who this dude is. He's getting more hostile all of a sudden. Like, that sounds like Joe being back on.
I wasn't mad at some of that, man.
A substance of some kind.
I'm just saying, I've never seen a nigga wearing a Mary hat in my life. So that for me was telling. I was like, oh, this nigga's, he's transforming into somebody else.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, why is it an issue? But for me, it was like, you know, you just talking to certain people and everybody telling you like, yo, listen, I did business with him. Watch that nigga, man. I'm like, Joe ain't gonna do that to me. That's my nigga. He ain't doing that with me.
It honestly, never even crossed my mind.
Never crossed my mind. But now when this becoming argumentative and niggas are saying this and saying that, every time accounting comes up, I'm like, fam, why is it only an issue when accounting comes up?
The same way he said, why is it only a problem when money get brought in?
And again, my thing is, it's not about the money. It just became a point where the respect level just started to disappear, and you start talking to me like I work for you. And it's like, my nigga,
well, don't you work for him? Don't you work for him?
I don't work for you, bro. I don't know what type of meetings you having and who's talking to you and who's breaking down what to you. I don't work for you, bro. Like, this is something.
All right, maybe that's a question I got for the people out there. If you got your own thing going and I come and join in on it, you bring me in on it, do I work for you? Are we partners? What exactly is that relationship? Because for me, if we don't start it at the same time, like I know what it is with me and the partners, because we all started it at the same time. Like, we had meetings before this got started. So it's not like one of us was going and then the other one jumped in. We were all together. But like with a situation like this where Joe already kind of had this thing going, and he brought them in. Is that they're his employees? Is that they're his partners? I don't know what to say on that. You work for him, okay? Because I'm kind of like I'm riding your coattails at that point. Like if Pat he out here and he got like a comic book channel and that joint is through the roof, and then I come in and I'm with him, and he bring me in, I would expect that I'm going to be a smaller percentage. I don't know, but I mean, the talking to people crazy though. I get that because that is something that
who gives a fuck?
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be talking to each other crazy. And that's when you have a real problem.
It wasn't what it is now.
And you never argued IP. I want to make that clear.
Never.
Rory never argued IP. Mal never argued IP.
I never argued that. It was never about that. I'm like, fam, I want this to be I want this to be as simple and easy as possible. This should be the simplest bag, the simplest money we ever make, because essentially what are we doing? We
out the gate
and we kicking it. Yeah. We don't
out
have
the
to
gate
complicate this thing, but then after a while, once bigger checks start to come in, man, once we're touring and all of this, it's like you start to see niggas moving certain ways, and it's like, all right, fam. It's just weird.
What is certain ways? Like, just say it.
And for a while, my energy started to disappear because, like I said, I don't even know who I'm dealing with anymore at this point. Mm-hmm. And I know money changes niggas.
That's
and
the thing that be killing me, man. People be talking about
money magnifies who you are.
We all
it magnifies who you are.
We're gonna get to it, bro.
We're gonna get to it. I understand,
but again, get to it then. What is the actual
assassination character? Because I don't want to go in the same.
Just say all of the shit.
I'm not assassinating.
Joe has done great things with money and great positive things, because I do think there is a good part of him, but there's also this other part.
Right.
If you're gonna come at the, you're gonna shake the tree, shake the fucking tree.
I think so too when he wants to, but I also I'm learning because, see, you got to give shit time to fall the way it's gonna fall.
Yeah, you got to give time, time.
And and you got to just watch people. And
okay,
you know, I heard Joe say, "Oh yeah, me and Mal never broke down a bag or bust down bread together," whatever he said. And I'm like, my nigga, that's not true. Like, but when you was still rapping and shit, I had you do verses for niggas that I know. I had you do videos with niggas that I know. Like, I had you through walkthroughs with promoters that I know, like in Connecticut and shit like that. Like, I tried to like bring shit to the table, like, but again, it's never about money for me. It's all about you my man. Listen, if it's some bread out here to get, go get it. If I know some niggas that's trying to do a party and they want you to do a walkthrough and all that, yo, here, let me set it up for you. But now, you know, that is bigger money coming in and all that. Shit just got weird, bro. Like, shit just got very weird for me. And I'm not good with doing weird shit. I don't do weird shit. I don't like weird energy from niggas. Like, I remove once I see niggas doing weird, funny shit, I just get away from that. Like, I don't even want to be around that type of shit. And now it's to a point where you saying things and, you know, you got other niggas in the room saying things and chiming in. And I'm like, yo, what's up with y'all nigga? Like, what the fuck is going on?
That's a tape.
So now I'm sitting here. Now everything is starting to become really clear to me. Like, shit is starting to really become clear to me. Like,
what is?
You niggas been having little conversations and conspiring shit for a minute. You niggas been trying to like set shit, you know, playing shit with the chess
is you niggas?
Set shit up to look a certain way for a while now, because now that the shit is out the bag,
I'm
starting to see everybody's true feelings on certain things. And people are talking about business that they don't know nothing about. They talking about contracts
live with it.
And I'm just like, fam, what the fuck is going on here, man? And then you saying shit, I lived with you. You making it sound like, nigga, I wasn't. When you met me, I had money in my pocket, nigga. I might have had more money in my pocket than you had if we keeping it 100. I was always hustling, always doing shit I shouldn't have been doing, that I didn't really want to do at a time in my life. Allegedly. But I'm just saying, like, I was always a nigga that if I had to go get it, I would go get it. So don't try to paint me like I'm some nigga that you found on the street and I was fucked up, I was homeless, and I was sleeping on your couch. I'm hiding detergent and all this shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's talk about what you hiding. Because every time it's a talk about accounting, it's always some argumentative energy coming from you only, not from me, not from you.
Exactly. It goes I'm
never
get
arguing
real,
about
though.
money, especially not with my niggas. I'm not doing that. But if every time we present some shit about accounting and you want to start arguing to them, well, audit me then, fam, I'm never taking my niggas to court. And the first thing you say,
you might not be taking them to court, but
I'm suing the pants off of y'all.
You're definitely taking them to public court.
Who are you, my nigga?
This is all.
Who did you just turn into?
This is all bad, man.
Everything that we stood for on this podcast all these years about, you know, corporate fucking over the creatives and this, that. Like, I've seen Joe do fucked up shit in business and music to companies and labels, but I don't care about that because they owe us anyway. So fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, get back to the story.
Somewhere talking crazy about me.
Okay.
Not a nigga like me, a nigga that ain't been nothing but stand up with you. As long as you know me, I never did no foul shit to Joe. Never. In fact, I've gotten Joe out of situations where it could have been bad for him. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like really bad for him.
I can see having a different lens.
I frontline that. Me.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the shit.
My man popped.
Exactly. Lennon does say that, and that is very much a truth.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was my homie that frontline that.
Mm-hmm.
He called, yo, nigga cons.
I hate when dudes do
niggas
this.
gotta come down here.
Oh yeah,
say no more.
He was soft, and
but now you trying to
play
like I was some funky nigga sleeping on the couch. Like you found me on some corner and gave a nigga a roof over.
I saved him, y'all. I saved him.
And I don't mean to present this type of energy, man, but that shit, niggas ain't gonna assassinate Maul's character. My shit been A1. Any nigga that know me that had dealings with me, my shit is A1. So don't ever sit nowhere on no fucking platform and try to make it seem like you came and saved me from the streets or you scooped me up off a corner and I was in front of 7-Eleven stinking and shit. We not doing
Nobody said any of that.
We not doing that. That's not happening.
You wild.
And I don't like doing this shit. Maul's real cool. You know, I don't even put this type of energy out there. But when niggas try to defamate my character, I don't play with that. You can steal from me. You could take money from me. You could do whatever you want. But
is that a word?
What you're gonna do is defamate my character and try to put me out here to the people like I'm some nut ass nigga. We not doing that. That's not never.
Isn't it defame? Am I making that up?
Money, fuck all of this shit. You're not gonna defamate my character, my nigga.
You just won't say too solid of a nigga. There, right?
Too solid of a nigga.
I don't know how tough Joe is on that end, but I will say it's funny that.
When you said that fuck shit you said to me at Park's crib, talking about you, this is none of your business.
Because I don't think that defamate is a word. I'm pretty sure it's defame.
And I told you that, Rory. I said, yo, Rory, it's over. And he was like, what you told me? I said, fam, this nigga just told me this podcast is none of my business.
Okay.
Looked me in my eyes and said, it's none of my business. That for me said everything. You finally just said it, but you've been feeling like that, nigga. You've been moving like that. You just finally said it.
We're naive and thinking friends.
Because I'm thinking you my man.
There was cues to it.
There's plenty of times we traveling, we touring.
Exactly.
Like, how am I
this is a little weird.
When we sell 1,500 seats and we sell 2,000 seats.
Okay.
Stupid. How am I still getting the same money for that? That don't even add up.
Depending on what the expenses was for that show.
But what we did. That's the homie. We'll fix it. We'll figure it out. Let's just keep it moving. Let's just keep growing the show. Cool. But enough is enough, fam. Like, I'm not the smartest nigga in the room, but I'm not the dumbest nigga either. Not the dumbest nigga. I'm humble. I'm forgiving. I'm laid back. I'm relaxed. I'm chill. I'm all of those things. I'm not stupid. I could play like I'm stupid. I could act like I'm stupid. But sooner or later, I'm going to pull you by your coattail and say, yo, fam, let me holler at you real quick because I peep game already. And I just want you to know that we're not doing that. And for me, that's all it was. And when he told you to miss a few episodes, when you sent me that text, I'm like, okay, this nigga trying to play the boss card.
Well, no, he also said that he told me to take Tuesday and Friday off.
Again, we not.
I don't want to get into
the text. It's lies. It's just lies, fam. And if we like, fuck it, it's over.
Until we had to talk.
Right.
Sorry for that pause. Had to be a dad for a second.
And then came back and said, "Yo, we abandoned the pod, even though it was some shit."
The real no.
Listen,
actually, it was your idea.
Right. But all of that, let's go to our corners. Cool. We agreed to it. But we can't go to our corners and then you pop up on the show that I helped build and Rory helped build with two new niggas, and no disrespect to them. No disrespect. I don't even want them.
You know them though, so why are you acting like they're some random?
I'm just saying
they good people.
You tried.
No, he's not supposed to get paid the same as Joe. If Joe is the one getting the deal, get the deal yourself. That's what Joe was saying.
Because all you really want to do is put two niggas on there that's going to take a salary. Because that was your thing with us when we started talking about accounting. Yo, when this deal is over, I'm putting y'all on a salary. What's the first thing we said? It's not happening. It's not happening. You're putting who on a salary?
Mm-hmm.
Salary?
No, I remember the conversation.
That's not happening.
And this was before the Spotify, or in between the Spotify deal.
This is what I'm saying. Salary, who, me? After we done put all these years in and all these.
First, the Fat Boys break up. Now, every day I wake up.
On top of that, let me backtrack even more. When we talk about percentages, 3 of us was in the parking lot of Totowa. Yo,
Totowa?
This percentage, cool. And then we started talking about numbers on like some fun shit, chilling. Like, yo, we could probably get this amount from this. Yo, I wouldn't give y'all that percentage off that deal though. And we was like, Joe, that's not how percentages work. Right. I wouldn't give you that much money.
Right.
And you naive. I'm thinking we just joking around type of shit. But
no, you
gotta be accountable in your shit.
You think your friend would never.
What contract did you sign? I remember that conversation. What did your contract say?
He brought up those percentages and then brought up a lump sum of what that would be. And he said, oh, I wouldn't give y'all that percentage off that lump sum. Like, yeah. No, that's how a percentage works, Joe.
What did your contract say, Rory?
It's to me.
That's the question. Because whatever you signed is what you are. Exactly what you were owed.
Based off of his music career. Right? I feel like he thinks it's a trickle-down effect.
It is. It is. He started the podcast before y'all.
It's not. I've been in some of these cities when you were a rapper, Joe. I've been in some of these cities. It wasn't people weren't showing up for you. And see, and again, through all of this, I've had
not exactly. I don't feel like,
and you know how certain shit has started to like come together. And he said something at the Highline Ballroom show we did.
It sounds like jealousy to me. I'll be honest.
He had went outside. He had recorded the people rapping around the corner, and he came back, and he said,
"That's what it sounded like to me."
Block. I got the line around the corner. And I looked at him and I said, Joe, you don't have the line around the corner. We have the line around the corner.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
And you've never had the line around the corner.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Line around the corner. You've done shows in Boston and you've never had the line around the corner.
What we not gonna do is act like we coming to see Rory and Mal.
The greed.
Like, let's be completely 100% real.
And to his right, to
we are not about to act like y'all are
his personality
attraction.
With a huge fan base.
Cool. Which is why you get the percentage you get.
Which is why the podcast went on for a month when y'all went on that sabbatical.
I'm a regular nigga from uptown, bro. Yeah, I didn't come here with no fan base. Like, I get it. I'm gonna take my low percentage and chill. But you're not gonna jerk me on my percentage that I took.
This whole crazy value conversation that everyone's been debating about us and this and that, and yo, they don't do shit here. They do a bunch of shit over here, this and that. Mal and I have never said we're these crazy personalities ever.
Never said it, bro.
I've never bragged about what I do.
I'll gladly admit that. I didn't have an audience.
Man, please.
You know, I was known in a couple circles.
Fam, I like talking with my friends.
That's it.
There's value amongst the three of us. Now, do I think Joe has crazy value by himself? Do I think you have crazy value by yourself? Do I think I have crazy value by myself? Yes. Whatever you think that value is from a number standpoint, whatever.
I don't think it's very high. I think that's the problem. I think you think it's higher than what it is.
And let's recognize that. Let's just recognize that.
I never walked in that pod and say, yo, I make this shit.
Yeah. But that demeanor was never presented from this side.
Ever.
Like, I'm not, you know, I see the people online, they saying, oh, y'all, you know, Joe made y'all. Cool, if that's what you want to, but there's a reason he called me and asked me to join the pod, fam. And no disrespect to you, Rory, but when I came out, I feel like I made
maybe it was because y'all were cool.
I agree. I feel like I made the shit more cool. I feel like I gave the shit a different energy. Like, no disrespect to nobody.
What was your different energy?
But I just made
I
feel like he knows that though. So then
what
that, nigga.
Was it?
Don't let Charlamagne come on the show and have to say it. Why you don't say it?
I remember when you had come on in the second episode. Joe and I were still in the talks of the girl thing, still at that point, because we want to. Yo, Mal, let's just be the guys podcast. Mal killing this shit.
And but my only problem.
And I also don't take any. People are just weirdos and that type of. I don't take offense to that.
No. I'm not
what you did when you came on.
I'm not taking offense to it. I'm just saying that he don't speak up about that shit.
That's the vibes I'm getting, honeybee.
He don't be like, nah, you bugging.
Those are the exact vibes that I'm getting.
Man, they got
a bunch of jealousy, a bunch of
like he let these narratives run.
I'm salty, sour grapes. I didn't get.
I see all of that.
I didn't get what I wanted, so let me try to bring this guy down.
I don't care about that, man. Like, nigga, we having fun. We busting.
That's what I get from it.
We looked up one day. We had an audience. Cool. Yeah. But my thing is, like, we gotta put your ego and put your ego to the side, homie. put your ego to the side. Like, it's not that it's not that serious. Like, what you doing right now, what you did to your niggas, the way he up there talking about me, the way he up there talking about, that's corny. Like, that's corny shit to me, fam. Like, you saying
things that really offend me. Him saying Rory's measly ass, and that I was trying to manipulate.
Now I will say that.
Let's
if me and my guys getting some beef behind the scenes about over some money, we wouldn't be airing that shit out publicly.
Believe with two people that were done with it. Joe was done with the shit. You were done with the shit, and I'm the only one sitting here trying to keep this shit going. So when Joe brings up these words like measly, yo, you lost your leverage. Leverage on what? What is this narrative talking about leverage? I didn't go into any type of thing to have leverage.
Again,
I'm trying to save our fucking podcast, and these are the terms they need to
have. No, you're trying to save your job on the podcast. The podcast is not yours, which is why the podcast is going on and you're not.
Not as fucking stupid as you think.
Right.
Stop with these narratives to dumb people that just think you smart. There was I wasn't looking for leverage on anything. I was trying to save this podcast, and I talked with my mans, and I talked with you, and I put together a list of what would happen on top of the things I needed as well. You said you was going to meet them, said, oh, wait, that's all y'all need? Right. And then didn't meet them.
Right.
And then you was wondering why this didn't happen.
Right.
So I'm the one manipulating shit. You came to me and said I could easily make this shit happen. Came back, nothing happened.
Right.
Okay.
And another thing that you riding with Rory. I'm riding
what exactly?
Did anyone ever think you
is the problem?
For you and I was doing was
you're not getting paid more than him. You like when did he jerk y'all on the percentage that you were owed?
But see again, that's why this is important because like I said, I didn't even want to do this. You didn't want to do this, but we came to something. We was like, it's absolutely necessary because these narratives have to stop. We got to put it into.
I don't care about the narratives. Get to the point.
Truth. And again, I give you a whole bunch of credit because when he told you to stay home. The first thing I told you was, I said, Rory, I'm not recording without you.
I remember.
I'm not doing that. I said, because
what?
To me, that's
so are you
there? Saying,
right down there.
We go to the club, the bouncer say your man he ain't got the right shoes on. And then we continue to go in the club. That's corny. I'm never doing that. Fuck it. We all leaving.
So nigga, that ain't your boy.
You to stay home?
Joe is your boy.
Nah, we not doing that. Go to the studio, Joe. Let me holler at you. And we have the talk we have. And then that turns into something else. It's like, Joe, why is it always a problem when people are having a conversation about this show and you're not around? Like, do you feel like niggas is trying to conspire some shit behind your back? Because that's not what it is, bro. Niggas are having creative talks on how to make this shit better, how to grow this shit, productive conversations. I said, but you being real defensive when you're not around and people are talking about the show. It's saying
so you were having talks about the show behind his back,
Elliot and I just went
as if you are
especially when you have a whole bunch of conversations about this podcast.
It's his show,
and then we continue to be like, okay, let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. All right, cool. And again, we might have to take some onus in that because we probably let that go on.
Yeah, take the onus.
So cool, we'll take some onus on that. But then we had that talk, and I'm just seeing him. I'm just like, he thinks that he's really this new guy because I'm hearing it and then the way he's talking to me and I'm just like, I think y'all got things twisted. No, we don't got nothing twisted. I think that money started to come in. You started to see more money than you ever seen in your life. You started to have conversations with niggas you wanted to have conversations with as a rapper that would never talk to you.
Okay.
So I think that you starting to feel like this new person and you got this new leash on life.
No, he doesn't. Fine. He's been the same, from what I can tell, he's been the same guy
for my people.
On everything I've seen him on, from getting punched in the face to
don't bring that energy to your nigga.
Acting a fool with Tahiri to
ego with women and fans and all of that. Don't have
love and hip hop
niggas that built something with you that was in the trenches with you like I was.
He seems to be pretty consistent in who he is.
A nigga that done been locked up with you like I was.
And if you remember the conversation the three of us had that what we thought was productive, he said, yes, I like my ego. My ego is important in certain places. I should channel it better, but I should never channel it the way I channeled it with my friends. This is his words, not mine.
Okay.
But then what happened now? Like that went out the window? Because we had a 5-hour conversation at his house. We thought we made some progress. And be clear, I gotta give my guy Rory props on this too. I was done with the pod after that conversation we had.
Okay.
I was done.
That's where you should have been, because the next episode was horrible.
It bothered me so fucking much. I'm like, fam, I was the one trying to keep this shit together.
I'm gonna give you that credit because I told you, I said, Rory, I would never sit down with him again. I said, because I can't fake it. That energy, that chemistry, that laugh and shit, the fun, it's not there no more. When you look me in my eyes and tell me after all these years, all this grinding, all this building and pushing that we did, you tell me that this shit is none of my business, I could never unhear that, fam. I can never unhear you say that to me.
And granted, maybe
so you were stuck on that.
Adjectives
okay.
For me trying to force this podcast to keep going. It's not measly. It's not liar. It's not manipulator.
Well, you're fired.
No, and I'll have your back on that. It was never that with you.
Did I force something? Maybe.
You're fired.
To make sure the shit.
No,
because I really thought we could get back to it.
No,
maybe.
No, you know what you did? You did what
you got yourself fired. Is what you did.
Like, yo, fam, let's just make this shit right. Let's just make this shit right. Like, fuck it, man.
That's what happened.
This is just a bump in the road.
That's what happened.
Let's patch this shit up. Let's keep it moving. But I'm gonna be honest. Like I told you.
Shout out again to Soul Lord. Shout out again to Soul Lord for uploading this. Shout out again to Soul Lord. Subscribe.
We talked about everything.
And I text Royce afterwards after you called me, and I thanked Royce.
He talked to me about a whole bunch of slaughterhouse shit. He talked to me about a whole bunch of, and it was like, but I'm telling Royce, I'm like, fam, just in the way again, he had to pull up with Crook.
Okay.
Never put it out.
I watched it.
And that's fine with pulling up with
Crook.
He said something in that pull up that when I saw it, it stuck.
What was it? Say
when
it.
The shit fell apart with us.
Say it.
That shit played in my head.
Say it.
And him and Crook were talking about. Crook said something to the extent of, "But bro, we have a contract with them. We gotta honor our contract. We signed this. We agreed to this. We gotta honor that." And Joe's response was, "I don't give a fuck about no contract. I don't honor no contracts." And Crook just laughed like, "All right, well, if that's how you feel, what are we even talking about? Like, I can't. It's no talking to you."
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, I'm like, "You don't honor no contracts." Well, and here we are today.
Well, also let's
what did your contract say compared to what you actually got?
Had,
is the question.
Joe was saying, because I
that's
want
the
to make
question.
This as fair as possible, and I don't like to speak for people unless I speak for them.
This is
correctly.
all the truth.
No, I know.
That's why I could sit here comfortably.
That's the actual question.
Like what's this? Pistachio? Let's call it pistachio. I'm sitting here in my pistachio.
You are in some mint.
My karma is beautiful. My aura is. I'm great, man.
Spearmint.
Said he didn't even honor our contract and overpaid us because he said he looked at our contract and saw what that money would have been off our percentage base and said, "Ugh, I don't like it." I want this to be the last time we talk about this, so I'm even gonna put in his good points that he said.
Right.
Okay.
Which again, I'm not sitting here saying I didn't believe my man's when he said that.
Right.
Okay.
I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And I said, thank you. I said, yo, thank you. Yeah. That's fire. That's some real solid, real man shit to do.
Right.
So what's the problem?
When we go back to the points,
so what's the problem?
Our respected corners, let's figure out what makes this work for our friendship and the business side. Mm-hmm. Accounting got brought back into play from when it stopped with the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Right. What the hell? Like, when do you get to the actual point where you
just throwing numbers
talk about what the problem is for real?
Not accounting.
It's not accounting.
So yes, did I get accounting that said I was overpaid? Did I get accounting that said Joe is the greatest guy on earth?
Did you?
Mm-hmm. I did.
So then what the?
Did not say he was wrong. I said just
okay.
Okay.
Like, okay.
Hold the fuck. Hold the fuck.
Ho. All right. You're telling me that your biggest gripe is that you didn't get paid enough, but you got accounting that said that you were getting overpaid for what your actual contract said you were supposed to get paid. I don't understand what the problem is. No, he didn't say it yet, Donnell. He said a bunch of stuff. Both him and Mal have said a bunch of things, but they haven't actually said like what. I don't get it.
Me because
and maybe I'm stupid
overpaying me but didn't tell anyone.
Tell me in the comments, tell me in the chat, but I don't see it. What is the problem?
Well, let me be clear. I don't think we were overpaid.
What does your accounting say?
You don't sit. I don't know anything.
Rory just said the accounting said
I'm just going
overpaid. He just said that.
You don't sit on the set and talk about me and talk about you the way he did.
Just said that.
And then underneath all of that, you're overpaying somebody. It don't add.
Exactly.
Let's say I'm overpaid.
It don't add up.
Let's say I'm overpaid.
That energy don't even match.
Let's
you don't overpay people that you feel like that about and that you end up talking about like that publicly. You don't do that.
Let's dead the narrative right now of this was about money. That we said it was not about money.
No, because this is
to that podcast and
seeming like that's exactly what it is.
Rory's asking about money. Let's dead that.
That's what it is, man.
Even before we even went into negotiations, Joe had said to me on some friend shit, we was at lunch, he said, I already don't think this is going to be a good situation for us. I said, bet. I've been saving my money. Fuck Spotify. If they come back with a crazy amount of number, but it don't make sense for us, fuck it. I don't care. I've been saving my money. I don't splurge like that. I'm chilling.
Okay.
And at this point, I think it was 6 or 7 months before our deal even ended. So I was like, let's just get back. Nobody go crazy with their bread. And if we got to go independent, we got to go independent. That's great. Whatever. That's probably a cool scenario. You don't have to worry about me at all. Don't ever make a decision. And I said this to him 1,000 times during that Spotify deal. That's why this also offends me off his shit. Said, don't ever think you have to worry about me with money. Don't ever make a decision about me that has to do with making sure I'm paid.
Right.
I love you for that, but don't ever do it.
So then why are we here?
His Cash App deal for his pull-ups, according to him. We leave Spotify. He starts bringing in Cash App to our podcast.
Why are we here then?
Amazing. Love that. Cool. I get an email.
If it's not about the money,
accounting company,
what is
it
about?
On what a payment is going to be per month. This is the Cash App deal.
Yep.
Naturally, as I always do, and as I told Joe, since the day we started doing business together, I don't care if it's $10 or $10 billion. I'm going to ask, so what is it? Cash App deal was great. It was around the exact same money, if not a couple $100 more than what we were doing with Spotify per month. Amazing. Love you for getting that. My dude. Just asked, so what is this?
Right.
Simple question. Left it alone. Didn't even really get an answer. Didn't particularly care.
Right.
Everything's cool. We in a pandemic. We don't have a deal. You out there getting us money. My God. Fuck with you. Don't care.
What is the problem then?
Patreon deal comes around. I don't know a single fucking thing about it. I find out on the air with the rest of y'all. I saw all y'all jokes.
We don't know anything about it.
They were correct.
Right. Yeah, no.
Let's be transparent. Got on there. All right, you're the head of creator equity. Cool. But prior to that, we were talking about starting a Patreon page with our shit.
Right.
Which, by the way, is not, you don't have to have a deal with Patreon to start a Patreon page. Right. So when we have conversations prior to this, I'm not thinking, okay, this is a Joe deal. And I also asked, I even asked his manager, is this a Joe Budden network deal? Like, is this going to have, see the thing is,
shows, right.
Karen, like, just because, and not even on some crazy shit, just on, well, let me just try to figure out what this is so I can know how to move.
Because I'm going to let this ride, and then once I get to the end, I'm going to go over to the Cookie Crush chat. Right. So y'all will find me over there. I'll be in the Cookie Crush.
He gets on there. We congratulate him for his position. Still love you, Joe, for getting that position. That's amazing. Patreon's great.
Okay.
I get a call from Ian. Hey, the accountant's going to reach out to you. This is going to be the monthly fee for Patreon.
Yep.
Okay.
Is the number crazy per month? Absolutely.
Good.
So then what it?
Money.
Great money.
Lot of fucking money.
Joe's story.
When I see a lot of money, do I automatically think, oh, there must be more? No. I just ask, so what is this based off of?
It was a lot of money. That's all you got to know.
At this point, this was a Joe Budden podcast thing.
What the fuck is the problem?
His manager said.
Him and his manager, Ian, shout Ian. Again, I'm not here to assassinate anyone's character. I say to Ian, yo,
what is the problem then?
I'm fine. People look overworked, and we're doing a lot of shit right now. Like, I can just tell the morale is, I can just see it, that people are just overworked.
No. Patreon, it wasn't seeing it. They expressed
what is the problem then? I say again.
No, even though he said the place about me, I still don't return the favor when people do shit to me.
I'm saying it. People expressed that they were overworked and underpaid.
So
underpaid in what way?
Ian, Joe, I don't care what narratives you spin, anything, whatever. I said to Ian, don't pay me this month or next. Don't give me that amount of money.
I remember.
Right.
And that was a lot of fucking money.
A lot of money.
Don't pay me. Let's put it into production.
So if it's a lot of money,
this is not about money to me. Let's keep this shit moving.
Right. Then what's the problem, bruh?
Stick to whatever contract. I don't need this. Like, I don't need it right now.
Because you even came to me with that. You was like, yo, we should, the first month Patreon check, we should both just give it to you. The guy.
And what's the problem, Rory?
Savon,
like
Alex,
these people.
Then Rory Mal, what's the problem then?
Working
if you're talking about giving the money to everybody, what's the problem?
Let's just give them that. Me and Ian have a great fucking conversation. I get a call early in the morning.
You're ungrateful.
Back to when you said you were talking to Joe. At this point, this was the first time in my life I said, who the fuck am I talking to? I wake up to someone screaming into the phone of how ungrateful I am.
Yeah.
How I don't give a fuck about anybody.
Yeah.
Any of this. And I'm like, what are you? Joe, I said, don't pay me.
Right.
And he's like, yo, Patreon got has none of the fuck to do with you. Fuck you. Fuck all this. This ain't just shit. Why the fuck you even talking about shit? I'm like, your manager called me in a payout for Patreon. I said, just give it to everyone.
Well, that could be a problem.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Thought you were being a stand-up honorable guy.
I just think that's just some shit to do for the bigger picture for everybody. I don't care about money.
Right.
So he screams, and I'm like, yo, I don't even know who I'm talking to. When I met Joe, he probably had one of the bigger egos I'd ever met in my life. At this point, I'm like, yo, who? I don't even know who I'm talking to.
You know who you're talking to
anymore. Like, who is this guy?
So that happens
with an Amiri hat on.
I don't know if it's a fact that he had an Amiri.
What is an Amiri?
During that phone conversation.
Can somebody tell me what an Amiri is? Is that an ugly hat or something?
You a sick dude.
I don't understand what the joke is. I think
it's the weirdest fucking thing on earth. But I'm still cool. Still don't think anything of it. They send the Patreon money to me, and back to psychoanalyzing your friends. Back to me starting to think about old shit. Like, all right, this shit is kind of weird. So yeah, when I hear Joe say at the end of that episode, let's do it for free now. It's on friendship. Ain't no business at all. Let's just do
like
it for
there.
free.
It's not there.
I've been on that time.
Right.
This is
I still ain't figured out what Joe did wrong.
Shit, which
I'm waiting.
Back in my face when I said, yo, don't worry about me. And then
he gave them a lot of money.
This?
It's like we weren't supposed to ask anything. We were supposed to just go with whatever
trying to snoop
they were putting in front of us. And it's like, but this
Negro, you signed a contract. What did your contract say? Did you get paid less than what your contract said?
That's what this entire, like, we could chop this.
Because what I heard was you got paid more than what your contract said. It was a lot of money.
And where it's going.
And this is out of your mouth.
That's all this shit is about. We asked to see the accounting because we have a profit agreement. We have a percentage-based agreement with each other.
I never did it maliciously. Never did it with accusations. Never insinuated anything. Our lawyers never got crazy. Joe and I even went back when we were talking at his crib about my lawyer being spicy on shit. And I read the email back to him.
Very polite.
Okay.
And my accountant,
very professional.
My accountant said, it's lovely to meet everyone. Let me know when you guys are ready to work.
But again, they only say that because they don't even want to be questioned about the accounting. They don't want to be questioned about anything. So when somebody even raises a question, it's a problem. You got to know that people can tell what that is.
No.
Every time I ask a question, you get upset. We know what that is, fam.
It could be that he's looking at you like, why would you have to question me? Just know I got your back.
Not thinking anything like that.
If that's how you came in too, that was the kind of way we was rocking when you came in.
Which still didn't.
Whatever you come in as, roll with that system. That's the
main
thing.
He said when you and I had that
amazing
conversation for 6 hours.
Business and personal,
like
whatever you came in as,
and then
roll with that.
Conversations between my lawyer.
You came in as, hey, I'm gonna be the one to take the lead on this, and you just roll with it. Then roll with that. If you came in and hey, all three of us can get together, put our heads together. Roll with that, but don't try to rock the boat because that's when you have problems. Like just stick with something.
Not you and I, the entire pod. I didn't hear from
Get
Joe.
Together, make it up, stick it, keep it going.
My lawyer replied to them off what they said from the accounting, and I heard nothing. Monday, I get a call from Ian. Yo, this is just the stance. This is just what it is.
Okay.
So, okay. I'll make a decision with my lawyer.
Okay.
This is Monday. We record Tuesday. Hit Ian, yo, I'm gonna make a decision with my lawyer.
I think they have a right to see the books, but I think that's what
didn't show up again.
The argument has been. Like they're saying that they saw accounting.
My lawyer
Joe said that he showed them accounting
to move this shit forward.
We had a conversation.
He said that the accounting shows that they got paid more than what their contract was,
sent over.
Was actually saying.
He had handled it incorrectly.
They just said that they got paid more than that. So I still ain't figured out what the problem is. Like they got a right to see the books, but once you see the books,
and then.
What's the problem?
We end up in the.
No, they don't got a right to see the internal books because they're not owners.
To be accounting that anybody can
unless their contract says that they get the right to do that. But
No, we're not.
If you audit,
we're not showing.
That's how you get to see the books, and I think that's the thing.
Okay.
So if you're auditing me, then
what the fuck happened to transparency
what
and
the
all
hell
this
is
other
the
shit
problem?
that we just spent 5 hours in the house talking about?
Gotta lean into narratives, man. That's what happened that entire episode.
Listen,
no, not a narrative. That's just business,
talk about that weirdo at conversation that he talked about with everyone, with Corey and everyone in the room, saying, "Oh, Rory was upset that I would work with academics." Y'all were talking about it. I was sitting on the couch and I heard it, and yes, I chimed in. I said, "Oh, you would?" And you said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay."
What's the problem?
I just think that's
why
weird.
is that weird?
And I won't get
him and academics made a lot more.
I thought that was weird.
Money than he made with y'all.
But that was it. And again, I psychoanalyze my friends too. Just said, all right.
Right.
That did not start our tension.
If it's such a big problem, get the money back. Damn right.
For a bunch of episodes.
Damn right.
Joe and I's tension initially really came from him throwing personal shots, not the way we make jokes about our personal lives. Not that. Personal shit that only him and I knew that he would take shots publicly on that podcast. To the point, it's like, this ain't for the audience. Only you and I know. Why are you making all these little shots?
Right.
You making the shots. Tell me you want to fight the man.
And let's dead this fucking narrative of me inviting Joe to my hands. Can we please please dead this fucking narrative? Man, this is the stupidest narrative ever.
That was stupid. Like
Joe has been saying that to me forever.
Yeah, like niggas joke like that. Nobody's really gonna fight. Joe didn't think that Rory really wanted to fight him and that he was gonna hit him. And it's like, cut it out. Stop with that.
And
bullshit.
Joe has been doing that to me forever.
Yeah, like stop with that dumb. That shit is just stupid, man. And like I said, I'm mad that we even got to sit here and do this because I don't even like addressing dumb shit and stupid shit, but I understand we owe it to the supporters and the listeners and the followers to just tell the truth. I'm not going to say outside. This is the truth. This is what it is. This is what the issue is and was.
What is it?
Is the fact that we kept asking for accounting.
Okay, you asked for accounting.
We're supposed to get accounting because I see people saying
you're supposed to get accounting.
For the books if y'all employees can't. No. We have a
profit partners.
Profit partners.
Okay, you're supposed to get accounting. Okay.
Spreadsheet
get to it.
Fucking accounting.
That's not accounting. And you know anything about accounting? You would never send somebody an Excel spreadsheet and say this is accounting. It's disrespectful.
And we was cool through it. And we just got to a point with so much
years we kept it pushing and kept recording after receiving that bullshit accounting. We kept recording and kept it pushing.
Okay, so what's the problem?
And then it just got to a point where it was like, all right, enough is
enough. Where was this the years ago?
Shit going on. We trying to get shit right. We've been trying to get shit right on the business side.
I don't understand.
Sooner or later, we got to just put a halt.
I never heard of it.
Let's correct this. What the fuck is going on? Let's get this straight. And then that was met with disrespect. That was met with some words. And it just got to a point where it was just like the chemistry was affected. The relationship between us was affected. And that's what made the magic. That's what made the show.
I think that's really what it is, though. It's he talked to them crazy. They didn't like it.
And like I said, once you tell me
instead of them dealing with it as friends,
I can't sit here and bust it up. And
now they made it about the money
and try to act like.
Since you told to be crazy, how about give me some more money there? No,
I'm not a fake guy. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like you didn't just tell me that a show that I helped with you and push with you and grow is none of my business. Like we're not doing that. You can never talk to me and disrespect me like that and think that I'm gonna sit on the couch and be like, yeah, Saweetie was.
But you did though.
We're not doing that.
But you did though. You came back to the show.
It looks great. But I don't want to sit here and talk to you about it no more.
That's a fact.
And that's all it was for me. It was like, yo, I'm done. I told you I was done. And like I said, speaking to you, speaking to Royce, speaking to my brother, and Biggs was real instrumental in that too. Like he talked to me a lot, and we talked about a lot of rock.
Oh, that's what it is. He Biggs' brother.
He brought light to a lot of shit, but he understood that if your heart ain't there no more, it's nothing you can do. Like once your heart is gone and your energy is gone, then you just got to move on.
Right, build your own brand. Like you ain't gonna do the podcast thing no more because you got a contract that say you can't just jump right into another one. So go do something.
I said, you know what?
You a hustler.
I'm willing to give this another shot.
Go hustle, Nick.
Like a good combo.
It felt like a very productive.
We were actually talking about coming back that very.
Excuse me for that word.
My uncle didn't pass.
Face keep telling us.
It felt like it was very productive. It felt like we had met each other at a point and all agreed.
I know it.
And when we got on that air that Tuesday and he started saying things, I don't owe my friends respect. It's like, wait, what? I don't even want to be sitting here with this energy because I think it's just counterproductive. So let me remove myself and
good.
Let things go the way they want to go. And like I said, him, I read everything, man.
And
like,
he's
I know
gonna
what
move
Joe is
on,
doing, bringing the homies on.
right?
I know what that is, fam.
Right.
Like, I'm not stupid. I know what that energy is. Like, I know what that is.
You
and,
already
I
know,
laughed at it
Donnell.
because
You
I know
already
the
know.
relationship that he has with them two. And I know things ain't always ain't all peachy between them. I know personal shit, and I'm not gonna get into that. I know personal history that happened between them. So I know it's just like you really gonna sit here and just try to create this optic that, oh, I could do this with anybody. You willing to pull on people that you got issues with, that you don't really bang with like that, to just try to prove a point to me and Rory? And then gonna try to spin it like we abandon our audience? First of all, you said we gonna all go to our corners and get right. So and we all go on our corners. Tag on it. Yeah, you put the mum tag on it, but I thought we was all going our corners. You sitting on here recording the show with other people. So it's like, all right, fam.
No, he said y'all was gonna go to each other corner. He ain't said the show was gonna go to a corner.
Yeah, it's like stop, man.
He never said the show was gonna go to another corner.
And you trying to spin shit, and this is like, I'm not. It's just weird at this point. It's like, all right, man. Let me.
From what I gather, Donnell, it was the accountants. They made a mistake on the first time they sent them the accountant. They didn't like the format that the accounting was sent to them in. But instead of bringing this up back in 2019, they let it slide all the way until now, and then decided to make it personal. I think the biggest deal is they're working for their friend, and they can't take that their friend in business is not who he is as their friend. But that's the thing. Business is not friendship. Like, when you go into a business meeting with your homies, you got to be ready to say, hey, we're going to talk this out as businessmen. When we come out, we're still going to be friends. But while we're in here, the way we talk to each other is reflective of the business. Like, we ain't got time to be finding no pretty cup to put the coffee in. Like, you got to take this black coffee, drink it straight, and deal with it. Like, we got to get down to brass tacks. And I think that's the problem. You got two men that are really, to say he a hustler, Mal, I don't think he's really down with no real business. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to business, you can't think that that's normal to audit and not expect things to change. Like when rap artists, music artists, they audit the label, they usually leave the label after that. They don't stay around the label and they walk around the hallways talking to the same producers and the same executives like, hey, how y'all doing? How the kids? No, they usually go somewhere else. You know what I mean? So definitely it was the accountant's fault, but I think they took it to Joe because that's what the relationship actually was. And because of that, now you get here. But I think that shows a lot about the friendship because, again, like, I'm in business with my friends. And at the end of the day, what you're not going to get is us falling out over a split. Like, whatever we sign, we're going to look at that shit over individually. If it matches what we want, cool. If it don't, we're going to negotiate, get it, bam. That's what we rolling with. And we rolling with it. But I think it's just, you know what I mean, this lack of a real friendship that causes a lot of this. Because if not, you should know each other and know exactly how each other going to respond when this money come in.
Detach myself from this. It was a great run. You know,
money don't change you. It just enhance whatever you are.
Definitely more goods than bads.
And
I'll give you that.
Giving the crew that whole narrative to them of, yo, how would y'all, isn't that offensive to y'all? That these two would abandon this shit?
Like, stop,
abandon this shit. No, this is an agreement upon the three of us.
We agreed that, okay, we're going to take, and like I said, you put the tag on it that accounting was going to take a month.
And I was the one that said we could talk about it. And after we had that 5-hour conversation a month later, the three of us said, shit, we should have had this week one.
We could have had it week one.
So I'm the measly one that was trying to do it from rip and just get this shit over with and move on. No. We didn't have it week one because, like I said, well, he didn't hit me. He just texted me and then that was it.
He was busy trying to create. He was busy trying to create the narrative that I could sit here and do this with anybody.
And he did.
It's just trying to devalue.
Well, it worked.
It's trying to say something. It's trying to spin. Like,
well, it worked.
Shit is, fam. I'm not stupid.
Well, it worked.
Stupid, but I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing. You're gonna say try to play. Oh yeah, I could do this with anybody.
Hey, Ma.
That's what you always wanted.
Hey, Ma.
To move
it worked.
Rory out. You was gonna try to wait till our contract was over, Because you know, I wasn't
going to try to look out
contract. Rory's already told you he wasn't,
because he doesn't need you.
Bring in 2 other people that's gonna have to roll with the salary contract because they didn't build this show,
and that's fine.
So I know how you
friendship and business, right? Exactly.
But please don't try.
Also said that he could get both them for the price.
Because we don't know this unless they put it out. But the fact that they're doing like literal. Yeah. And they're doing this so they can get clicks on YouTube and other platforms so they can get views. But it's like they're not slick either.
Yeah, but it's like it's
just too much.
You're not gonna sit.
But this is the thing, man. When you
my character, bro.
do business with friends,
we are not doing that. It's not
compartmentalized.
Reputation is A1. You're not gonna find anybody.
Make sure you actually
shit about me.
Think the shit through.
And if they do, they're lying.
And whatever you sign,
so don't do that. You can
live with that.
Have your platform
and roll with that.
And again, I'm not salty.
Don't look back. Don't get all salty and all like roll with that. Roll with that.
Be fine.
But please do not defamate my character and try to paint me as somebody.
If he say defamate one more damn time,
things are gonna go.
Negro, you can defecate and let out a turd.
I'm not going to
defamate. Or you can defame someone.
Don't defamate my character.
And degrade and take down their character. But you cannot defamate anybody.
Why it didn't happen.
I'm tired of that shit. Don't say it no more.
Stop lying to
you can't conversate. You can't defamate.
Gave the people the truth, but then you should give
fuck out of here
as well.
I hate stuff like that. I'm sorry. That was just a pet peeve, y'all.
No, fam.
I'm sorry.
We have a
that shit. Damn. He say defamate one more damn
contract
time,
with each other, and every time
headbutt him.
Accounting, there was a problem. You never wanted to give nobody accounting. You don't want to show us the real numbers from the deals and all of this other shit. And it's like, all right,
not
man,
another defamate.
Because again, we have this contract, and if you're not going to honor this contract, like you said in front of other people,
I hate that shit.
Then it's like, this
oh man, it just makes my flesh crawl to hear that dumb
like
shit.
I said, respect ain't
like
there.
You talk for a living. Try to at least get the word correct, or at least realize that when you like catch yourself. You know what I mean? Catch yourself. Well, guys, the moral of tonight's story. Before I go on over here to the Cookie Crush chat. When you go into business with your friends, it's always the rule of 3. The rule of 3. Number 1, read what you sign and live with what you sign. Number 2, discuss everything up front before work gets started. And number 3, if it's really your friend, then the business ain't that deep, especially if y'all are all getting rich. Man, I'm out of here, man. It's your boy Tiz. It's been another episode of Kicking It with Tiz, scrolling with the homies. I don't know if I'm gonna continue this shit right here, but you know what I mean? We're gonna I don't know. I think I might do this every weekend or whenever I get bored. But yeah. Anyway, we'll be right back at you with the podcast on Wednesday. This coming Thursday, we got our live show. You didn't ask us, but clips will be dropping throughout the week. I'm out of here. Catch me over there in the Cookie Crush chat in about 10 minutes. You know, Lennon be going late. So, hey, man, holla at y'all. One love. Peace. Love y'all.